This is the LZR Project, an episodic story series by David and Alderman. The LZR Project takes place within David's Expired Reality universe and serves as a prequel to the main novels in his Expired Reality series. You can find out more about David's Expired Reality series at davidandalderman.com. Episode number 30. The Creekhold Orphanage stood 2 stories tall, rising into the dark sky above. The orphanage was small compared to others around Anera, especially Nightshade Orphanage in South Ryshard, which was one of the most popular. The Creekhold Orphanage mainly took in children from Lysalis, but Lysalis didn't have that many orphans to begin with, not as many as South Ryshard did. Sean stepped out of the police cruiser, adjusted his bulletproof vest, and set his pulse pistol to stun before heading toward the building. As much as he had begged Roger to allow him to bring a real weapon, Roger refused. The man was serious about the no-kill decree for reasons even Sean didn't understand. At the very least, Sean felt some sense of security with the 2 police officers who were with him, both of whom were equipped with firearms just in case things turned nasty. Sean started with the officers along the cement path leading to the front doors of the orphanage. Around them stretched green lawns and a scattering of trees and benches. Light illuminated the windows of the building, and Sean found himself wondering what the children inside were doing at this hour of the night. He remembered when he was just a child, begging his parents to let him stay up late to read his comic books by flashlight or watch one more episode of horror theater with his sister, Veronica. He swallowed the bitter resentment he felt for his sister. She didn't believe in him, that much was painfully obvious. She was always raising David on a pedestal and lowering Sean into the depths with her attitude and her comments. This was his chance to prove she had been wrong about so much. Wrong about David's leadership abilities. Wrong about Sean's leadership abilities. Wrong about everything. Sean and the officers approached the front doors of the orphanage. At the top of a small set of stone steps, beneath an ornate copper doorbell, sat a small basket inside a cube of hulled glass. On it was affixed a yellowing note that informed visitors who were ready to give up a child to do so in the basket, where the child would be safe until an attendant could retrieve them. Hinges in the top of the glass cube allowed one to place a newborn inside. Sean pushed the doorbell and waited. As much as he felt secure with the officers, he also found their presence a little disconcerting. He didn't know them, nor did he completely trust them with his life or anyone else's for that matter. As much as Sean loved being able to show authority by having Carrie, Veronica, and Ridley detained, he hated not having them by his side. He knew them. He trusted them. Even David. The locks on the other side of the door clicked. When the door opened, it was only to a crack, and a slender, dark-skinned woman with milky brown eyes answered. Yes? My name is Shaonna Amorou, from the Lysalis Police Department. I'm here to question one of the children in your orphanage about a crime that occurred the other day. The woman's gaze traveled from Sean to the 2 officers who flanked him. Then she opened the door and allowed them entry into the foyer. Warm lighting filled the room, as did a few old wooden chairs, a wooden coffee table, and some flyers discussing the pros of adoption over abortion. The woman led them across the foyer, across an old red carpet that was fraying throughout, through another set of doors that entered into a short hallway filled with old paintings of people Sean did not know. Geez, this place needs some work, Sean muttered. We apologize that our humble home for those without isn't to your standards, your majesty, the woman snapped. Sean swallowed hard. Sorry. It's all right, she said. I understand how ignorant some of you outsiders can be, running your mouth without thinking too much about the words coming out. I said I was sorry. She glared at him. Sorry means nothing to me. I deal with your type all day, every day. These kids deserve better. They passed through another set of double doors. A receptionist counter stood just past the threshold, and beyond that, the room opened into a very large area with various doors that no doubt led to other rooms. Stairs led to the second floor. The counter, Sean noticed, was made of dark marble affixed to a rotting wood frame underneath. The marble was worn and scratched, as if it had been dropped multiple times over the years. The woman stopped at the counter and slapped her thin hand down on the marble surface. Who might you be looking for this late in the evening, she asked. That's confidential. I'd like to just have a look around and... I think not. You really believe I'm going to just let you wander my orphanage? She sneered. I don't care if you have the president of Anera with you. Nobody goes into the residence floors without our security representative. The door opened at the top of the stairs, and a tall woman stepped into the room. Her long, braided hair was the first thing Shawn noticed. The red, orange, and yellow colors in her ankle-length strands almost gave the illusion that fire was spewing from the top of her head. She wore a bright white pantsuit, and her white heels tapped the old wooden steps as she descended them. "There she is now," the dark-skinned woman remarked, motioning to the stunning female. "Meredith Sorn. I will leave you in her care. If I find out you have disrupted my children's peace in this place, I will boot the lot of you out personally." She left the room as Meredith approached the receptionist area and took the seat behind the marble counter. Shawn cleared his throat and waited. When the woman started doing paperwork after checking her phone for messages, Shawn grew irritated and impatient. He had to confirm this was Shaonna before he could make another move. "Excuse me, we're here to speak with someone in your facility," one of the officers finally said. Meredith refused to look up, but mumbled something about coming back later, that she had loads of work to do that wouldn't do itself, and to leave her alone. "We're here to speak to Shaonna Ryshay." Shawn said the name slowly, hoping to create some kind of a reaction in the woman. She made no move, declined to stop her paperwork shuffle, and even sighed for a moment before picking up her phone again. Shawn reached over the counter, took the receiver from her hand, and slammed it down. "No, you're not going to ignore me." She looked up at him, her eyes sparkling a glittering hazel that seemed to fill the dark orphanage with life. "You don't like being ignored, do you, Shawn? How do you know my name?" "Shawn Amorou, a member of the Laser Blades. You've been on television many times. We need to speak to Shaonna Ryshay." "What proof do you have that she wants to speak to you?" "I'm here under orders of the LZR Project." "Another government organization. How terribly unoriginal. Too bad I don't respect the government. Any government." Shawn took a step back from the counter, letting his hand glide gracefully to the pulse pistol on his side. The woman's eyes lit up. "You seem a bit paranoid. Do you think that just because I don't respect the government that I don't respect the laws of the land?" "I need you to come out from behind that counter," he said. "Of course, Shawn." Meredith stood to her feet, never breaking eye contact with Shawn as she moved out from behind the marble counter and stood within a couple of feet of him. Shawn found himself easily seduced by her amazing figure. The white pantsuit brought her into view like a sparkling diamond in a pig's trough. "What, dear Shawn, do you want with me?" "I want to see your ID." Her smile widened. "You don't believe that I am Meredith, the name my mother gave me?" "ID," he said, his hand steady on his pulse pistol. "I'm not playing games tonight." "Games are why we all do what we do. If it isn't fun, if it isn't exciting, then what is the point to living at all?" She swung her hands out and blades flicked out from inside the sleeves of her white jacket, sticking into the throats of the officers at Shawn's side. The policeman fell in a gurgling spray of blood. Before Shawn could get his pulse pistol out of its holster, Meredith had both of her hands on his weapon. She yanked it from the holster and tossed it across the room as a glass vial holding the water within the pistol shattered. She thrust her palms into Shawn's chest, knocking him onto the floor. "You think you can best me like that? Coming in here like an old gun-toting hero?" She marched over to Shawn, who grabbed the pistol from the holster of one of the dead officers and fired it at Meredith, hitting her in the chest. She continued toward him, blood blossoming through her white blouse. Shawn fired another round into her shoulder and another into her thigh. She flinched but continued toward him. "Ah!" They both looked up toward the stairs, where a little girl stood with a gray blanket in her arms. "Go back to your room," Shawn shouted. Meredith chuckled and rushed to the child. She picked her up and patted her on the back. "It's okay, little one. Nobody's going to hurt you." "I saw that man shoot you." Meredith shook her head. No, sweetie. He didn't shoot me on purpose. His gun accidentally went off." "Oh, are you okay?" The little girl craned her neck to look over Meredith's shoulder. "Is he an evil man?" Meredith watched Shawn get to his feet. "No, he's not an evil man. Not yet." Shawn had no idea how Meredith could still be standing after the shots he had put into her. Screw Roger's no-kill order, he thought. He glanced down to one of the dead officers and spotted the man's CB radio on his shoulder. He could use it to call him back up and bring a firestorm down on Shaonna's head, but he knew he could take her on himself. And if he did so, he would prove to Roger, the president, and anyone else who was watching the LZR Project that he had the abilities to lead the Laser Blades to success. He started toward Meredith, but she turned and motioned to the kid in her arms. "Careful, Shawn. I have precious cargo in my hands." She went up the staircase, backward, rocking the girl as she ascended. "Put her down, Shaonna." "What makes you think I'm Shaonna?" She sang pieces of a lullaby to the little girl before setting her on the floor at the top of the stairs. "Go back to bed, little one." The girl opened the door and ran off to her room somewhere on the second floor. Meredith shut the door, took out a ring of keys from her pocket, and locked the knob before she started down the stairs again toward Shawn. "You know, I had a feeling, an instinct really, well, maybe it was more intuition and knowledge, that you of all the laser blades would be the one I met first." "How are you still standing?" he asked. She looked down at the blood soaking her blouse and pants. "A curious thing, isn't it?" "What are you?" Meredith went straight to the counter. She rummaged through her purse and pulled out a cigarette and a lighter. She put the cigarette in her mouth and lit the end of it as she inhaled the fumes. She blew out rings of smoke which she played with as if they were mist-like toys floating out of her mouth. Shawn pointed the gun at her head. "I wonder if that part of you can withstand a bullet." She shrugged as she walked slowly back to the staircase. "What makes you tick, Shawn? Put the cigarette down and come with me. We have questions for you. What's your involvement with Mr. Big?" She laughed away the accusation. "They have you on a tight leash, don't they? I want to know what makes your clock run, what gets you excited, gets you going in the morning. Why do you wake up and roll out of bed? What lights a fire under your ass?" "Capturing criminals like you," he replied. "That's rich," she said before taking another puff off her cigarette. "Let me ask you something. Do you believe you are born innocent?" "What is that supposed to mean?" "I can't be any clearer, Shawn. Do you believe you are born innocent? Meaning, at one point, were you completely innocent and free from tarnish? Do you believe that the children up there on the second floor, sleeping in their little beds with their hands under their pillows and their feet peeking out from the ends of their covers, are innocent?" "I'm sure they've made mistakes," he said, "just like you and me." "So you have done away with categories. Everyone has fallen short of innocence?" "I guess so," he said. "So then why are you coming after me and not those children up there?" "My mission was to bring you in. You have ties to Mr. Big." "So what?" she countered with a shrug and another puff off her cigarette. "You have ties with him too." Shawn steadied the gun toward her head. "I'll shoot you right between the eyes." Meredith marched over to Shawn and pressed her forehead against the barrel of his gun. "I'm here, and I'm waiting for you to do that, Shawn, but you will disappoint." She strolled near the counter again, puffing on her cigarette as she went. "Mr. Big respects you. I don't know why exactly, but he does. If I were you, I would not take that respect for granted." She took her cigarette and set it on the pile of paperwork on her desk. The paper erupted in a burst of flames. "I'm going to give you a choice. Come after me or save this orphanage and all the little heathens in it." "What?" he asked. She grinned, taking her purse up as she headed for the front door. "Tell your friends that you finally met Shaonna Ryshay. Also tell them that Mr. Big isn't going to stop until this whole city and everyone and everything in it is his or destroyed. It's up to you which it will be." Shaonna left the orphanage as Shawn scrambled to put the fire out. Thank you for listening to the LZR Project. If you are interested in reading more of David's Expired Reality series, please check out the author's webpage at davidnalderman.com.